Congressman Sylvestre Reyes. Let's give him a great round of applause.
What a beautiful lady. Actually, both great leaders of our community, and first and foremost, welcome to El Paso. As Lydia said, this is a place of great historical significance for border communities all up and down this 2,000-mile border with Mexico. And I always find it interesting when we have debates in Congress and people talk about the kinds of things that we ought to be doing to secure the homeland, and experts from states on the border like Iowa, like Colorado, those talk very knowingly about what it takes to do to secure our country on the border, and why it's important that anyone that comes to this country assimilate and be part of the American dream. And yes, we're here, but we've been here. You know, it's not so much in communities like El Paso all the way down to El Valle and the Rio Grande and in between and west. It's not that our families crossed the border, it's that the border crossed our families. And sometimes it's important to point that out. Another interesting thing, I had a debate one time on one of the conservative radio stations with a congressman named Tancredo. Maybe you've heard of him. And he was talking about the American dream. He was talking about the founding fathers. He was talking about what they intended and what we needed to protect. And then I came to my turn and I said, Congressman Tancredo, do you know where you live? He says, yes, I know where I live. I live in Colorado. I said, no, you live in Colorado. Colorado, that's where you live. And I know you've been to Los Angeles and San Diego. I know you've been to Nevada. I said, those weren't coined by Thomas Jefferson or George Washington or Hamilton or anybody else. Those were established by Latinos. You came afterwards. And we have to understand that there's a great history and a great culture. And you visiting us here in El Paso, and that's why we want to welcome you. You're here in a very historic place. As Lydia said, Pancho Villa used to hang out at the Dome Bar right across the street, the Camino Real. If you take a 1-hour trip west of here to Palomas, that's where Pancho Villa invaded the United States. And that's where the campaign to go after him began. So this is a very historic place. I was born, like Lydia, I was born and raised here. We've been here for generations. The Reyeses, the Aldiretes, and on my wife's side, the Gaitanes and the Muñozes, and so many other families that since we've intermarried. We're very proud of our background. I'm very proud to represent a community like El Paso. But I'll also tell you, as historic as it is, with that kind of a legacy, I'm the first Latino to ever represent this district in Congress. It took from 1996. And I mention that to you because, as Lydia said, things have to change. And the sure way that we're going to be able to change it is to understand what the challenges are that we face. And the Congreso here is an important part of discussing and dialoguing on those kinds of issues. First the issues, then the challenges, and then a strategy forward. So congratulations in putting this Congreso together. We're proud to host you here, and we hope you come back many, many times. And the other thing that is important to me is that I am puzzled that we're debating or discussing or wondering whether it's a good idea to participate in the census. It's a bad idea, it's a dumb idea not to be counted. Lydia said, in the last census, and we put out an all-out effort, LULAC knows, Southwest Voter knows, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus got behind it, both by participating and also by raising money for making sure that Latinos were counted in the census. And even with all that effort, with all that cooperation from organizations, which are the co-conveners here, and the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, even then, over 1 million Latinos were not counted, failed to be counted. That has to change. And it doesn't do our community any favors. It doesn't do us any good when we think we have to debate whether or not it's a good idea to be counted. Chihuahua, and it's right across the border here, the state of Chihuahua, but Chihuahua, my God, it's critical, it's important. It is a political reality that a community that represents, we're well on our way. We're at about $890 million worth of purchasing power to corporations. That's a lot of clout. We're all well on our way to $1 trillion worth of buying power because $891 billion worth of influence in the economy is a lot of money to corporations. So it makes sense that we count. It makes sense that we stand up and be counted. It makes sense that we do the kinds of things that are going to bring recognition to the largest minority. You are today right here in a minority majority state. And that scares the hell out of a lot of people. I mean, last August when I was doing town halls on healthcare reform, that was one of the things that I always like to mention. I know your concerns for these people that were coming at us using sometimes the N-word and a lot of times the M-word against me personally. They were scared. And they're scared because they know that the demographics are changing. They know that this country is starting to reflect what I think it's a fundamental strength of America, and that is its diversity. So we have a job to do. We've got a challenge ahead of us in doing a number of things. First of all, we've got to bring those people that are afraid of our community in and tell them, cálmense, it's going to be okay. We like the same things you do. We want the same things you do. You think you deserve respect. We think we have earned respect. You think that you started this grand experience in democracy. We feel that more than any other community, we have defended this democracy with our blood all around the world. So we've got some challenges. We've got a ways to go in making people comfortable with the fact that this country is great because of all of us. This country will continue to be great because it's a country that represents opportunity for all of us. But in order to do that, things like comprehensive immigration reform needs to happen. And you know, as the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, I get an opportunity to go out and give speeches. And one of the things that I believe